Hello, everybody. This is Guram Kekelia. To make astrology easy and accessible for everybody to understand and apply everyday life, even to read the chart easiest and enjoyably and not stressfully. This is my channel for that. I will explain in this video about elementary, like easy stuff, and then you can apply it in your chart. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna explain houses maybe a little bit in general, what it means roughly, and it's as everybody familiar with the first house. Of course, it's a self and health and personality. That's where you actually survive, basically, because first house is very important because it has certain sign usually on it, and that's the sign will be your angel guidance to surviving through this reality, through these limitations. And that's why first house is very important. Okay, every house is important, but first house is most important. It tells you about health, even your identity, and even your mother's status, your father's desires. It's reflection of your partner. So it's many things, and we'll go over it later with other deeper meaning of houses in few other videos later, because this is just for beginning. I don't want to make it confusing. So second house, of course, everybody's familiar. It's about finances, values. It's about your genes, your last name, what your family basically, and even your second family after marriage. This is all second house, and many other things, of course. But mainly this is about assets, where you collect things, how much talents you have. It's not necessarily only about finances or money, because this is like modern term, because astrology existed thousands of years and it was no such a thing like we have same life like we have today. So it's considered as your talents, your family karmas, even your your health values is in here, because it's second from your first house. So all that is about second. Third one is your mind, of course, your communication skills. This is the surface stuff. And your siblings, your brothers and sisters, your media, everything is here. Communication skills plus efforts, whatever skill, what do you put effort in, it shows third house. So it's very important, and it's very difficult house as well. Like 6 and 8 and 12, of course, but third one is where you put your efforts in it. Fourth house is about home, of course, private life. That's where you rest. That's how you sleep. That's your mother. Okay, this is water house. That's everything where everything originates and dissolves at the same time. So fourth house, it's your emotional state, your emotional peacefulness is determined by fourth house. Fifth house is about pleasure, creativity, of course, risk, and most intelligent house. And it's very it's connected with children, okay, and good karmas, because it's a Lakshmi house basically. So it's lucky house here. So that's your desires, intelligence, charisma is here. Everything is in fifth house. Sixth house is about routine works, of course. It's every day what you do, it shows in sixth house. If you doing something routinely, like a workaholically. You could be not working, not doing anything, but you could do it. You could do some other things that it's kind of obstacle, or it's like a house of sins. So it's basically you have obstacles and enemies here even, and diseases come from here. It's like a workshop to fix things. So sixth is the house of Virgo as well, of course. So it's about routines and all that stuff. It's in here. So of course we have seven house partners, and it's about relationship contracts. That's where you get married even, or you have like friend that you are in a relationship. Everything is in the seventh house. Public people that you're gonna face, or anybody other than you, is the seventh house. It's about marriage, contract, business, communication, because it's an air house. So then we have, of course, eighth house, which is house of transformation, house of other people's money, they say, of course, but same time it means more, a lot more, because it's not only that, but it's your husband or your wife's or your partner's family is in at eighth house as well. So then we have an inheritance is there too, because it's basically a transformation house. It's going through the rebirth. So any planet or any sign sits there that will indicate that will go, everything in eighth house will not be stable. So it will be up and down. Okay, so then we step on the ninth house, which is long journey and higher mind. It's about your father as well here. It's about like traveling, doing things like with education, the highest education, and religion. All comes from ninth house. So same time it's your father, and it shows your as your teacher or guru, they say. So 10th house is about public reputation. It's about your status, your work, your how professional you're gonna be, and what's the highest you will reach in terms of status, not in terms of happiness, okay? Instead of status. 11 is your goals and big goals, okay? It's a desire house. It's like it's really legacy house as well. People who has a biggest multiple source of incomes, even goals, big dreams, okay? So it's kind of like good house same time, but it could be disturbing for your emotional state, okay? So then we go 12. Number 12 house is about dissolving, to let it go, all that energy, because it's more like dissolution house, which is house of Pisces, ruled by Jupiter basically, which is the guru, and guru is the master, and he's the teacher that went through all the sign, to Aries, to Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, all 12 sign, and has no ambition, because it went through all that stuff. He was the hero, he was the best fighter, he was the best lawyer. Anything that it's, is people went in terms of positive, successful life, Jupiter went through all that. So that's why number 12 is dissolution, let it go. It's like old master sitting under the tree and meditating. He's not want to do any routines or anything. It just wants to let it go and exit out from this reality even, because number 12, that's where you dissolve, and that's where your life even ends. All right, so now we're gonna switch to the sign quickly. So we have zodiac signs, of course. It starts with Aries, and it goes through Taurus, and these are the planets that I draw inside, so you guys have kind of clue if somebody's really new and has no clue. Mars ruled by Aries. So on the right side right here, this is the Mars in Aries. Then we have Venus, symbol of Venus in Taurus. This goes by order like that. And then Gemini comes. Ruler of Gemini is Mercury. Then Cancer, Mother, Womb is ruled by Moon. And then we have Leo, where the most attention goes. We have Sun, ruled by Leo, obviously. And we have Virgo, ruled by Mercury, same as Gemini, so they have same ruler. So we have Libra, ruled by Venus, same ruler as Taurus. So, and we have Mars, of course, ruler of Scorpio, and as well as starter Aries. So, and then we have Jupiter in Sagittarius, and we have Saturn in Capricorn, Saturn in Aquarius, and Jupiter in Pisces, as I was talking, master sitting under the tree. So that's why Jupiter is very important too, to learn it right and properly what it means. Okay. Excuse me. As we know that everything starts from Aries, like ecliptic, even summertime starts, not summer, but springtime starts in Aries, and then mutates in Gemini and goes to summertime from Cancer to Leo, and Leo gives one of the full sun effect to produce all the fruits and everything, because this is the maximum sun power right there. So that's where we have attention there. In Virgo, there is a place in Virgo where you harvest things, where everything, whatever starts in Aries, right here, it actually gives birth right here in Virgo. Okay, so Virgo is the smartest sign because it always looks opposite of Pisces. From herself, Pisces sits the last sign, so Virgo, considering smartest, what way that she knows what's the end, because Pisces shows the end, and she knows what's gonna be the end. Okay, for example, if Jupiter is in Pisces, that means the end will be really blessing and good and lucky, okay, in any chart. So, but every sign looking at each other, okay, opposites, they just want to know each other. So that means you have to consider as well what energy starts and where they're looking at each other and what they want, considering your natal chart planet as well. Today we're not going to talk about planets as much as we're just going to go through, for example, if somebody is Taurus ascendant or Scorpio ascendant or any ascendant sign, we will read the energy as where it starts, where it ends, with the only 3 zodiac sign. I'm going to only include today Aries, Virgo, and Pisces ending. Okay, with these 3 signs, I'm gonna tell you a lot about person or any empty chart. For example, we're gonna practice on empty chart today. let's see here. Let me switch to another. Let's start in Aries, of course. So this is a graphic of the empty chart. There's no planets here, nothing. But I might have to include one planet just to give you some good example how to read the chart easy and enjoyably and very accurate. Okay. So this is the chart, as you guys see. This is Aries ascendant chart because first house is occupied by Aries. Okay. This is Aries symbol. So now that we know why they saying Aries people, even Aries ascendant people, they are self-starting people. It's like some situation that you comparing, like some people that maybe they need other people to make them start or make them more ambitious or whatever. But in this case, Aries in first house, they jump themselves basically. They are starters of themselves and they start everything, deciding everything, even they don't want it, or it's even if it's negative for them, they come alive, and that's where their blood is boiling, I'm sorry, where the Aries sits. So basically in the first house, that means they're self-starters. They start everything from deciding from themselves, okay? And harvest they get here in Virgo, in sixth house, which is, harvest always comes with difficulties because sixth house is about problems and obscures, difficulties, enemies. So harvesting for Aries ascendant, it's not easy, as you see, because it sits on a sixth house. And ending part, which is Pisces, that I said I'm gonna only use 3 sign zodiacs to determine about a lot of stuff about Aries ascendant, for example. Ending for the Aries ascendant people is unknown, with fears. They get lost. Okay? Depends what planet is in there, or even planet is not there. Where is the dispositor of this sign of Pisces, which is Jupiter? Okay? So, for example, we can see if Aries ascendant people harvesting them and manifestation of their work or anything that they start from first house comes to here to sixth house to give the birth of that fruits. If it's sweet, if it's bitter, or if it's any fruit's gonna come, depends on the dispositor of Virgo, which is Mercury. Okay, this way we can go deeper if we find where, for example, if person has Aries ascendant and you see Virgo in sixth house, of course, and then you see Mercury, for example, in ninth house. So this is Mercury roughly. So just imagine that. So that means this person, all that work that it manifests through Mercury, it's in ninth house, which is traveling, higher mind things, maybe even reading or writing about religion, religious things, about connection and with a father figure as well, will be seen in this. That means whenever he born on this reality, his father suddenly got some kind of like traveling or some kind of like opportunity to visit or learn, or even inside him consciously go in higher realms to discover some knowledge or intelligence at some point. Okay, that's what it indicates. Okay, for example, if this person has Jupiter here in the 6th house where the Virgo is harvesting, okay, that means that person harvests lots of obstacles same time, but lots of beneficial obstacles. So that means whatever obstacles they have, it might be a lot because Jupiter represents unlimited, many, but they get lucky, okay, and they harvest a lot of harvesting through difficulties, of course, because it's in 6th house. So we see example that Jupiter rules Pisces, so that all the wealth, and 9th house with Sagittarius, so that means all that wealth and like all that support from Jupiter comes from the 12th house, which is foreigner country, spirituality, okay, and that plus Sagittarius rules Jupiter, so that means it's connected with the father as well, or some kind of dharma from the father's side, or even some kind of mentor. Maybe they know somebody that they learned something from, and that's where they use it to harvest their manifestation wherever they started in Aries in 1st house. Okay, so see, like in this, with this method, adding other planets, even Saturn, then you find even Mars, everything will tell you much more accurate and properly how to read, how to determine and find sense in somebody's chart to read. Okay, now let's switch. For example, let's erase this one quickly, and I'm gonna go to the Taurus ascendant. And we can see here that we have Taurus ascendant, so let's use the same method. Energy starts here, as I see Aries, 3 sign that I'm gonna use. So it's starting in 12th house. That means it's starting unknown. Those people jump in, even it's negative or positive, they love to jump in unknown situations. Okay, first they do that because now Aries shows the first thing you do. Okay, harvesting comes on a 5th house because Virgo sits on a 5th house for them. So that means everything comes through intelligence. A lot of work, because Virgo is the work. It's working through the children, or some sort of intelligence, or even harvesting or being teacher. So it's harvesting through the good luck house. That means Virgo is sitting good place same time in a lucky house to harvest all that starts in 12th house. And of course Taurus, sign Taurus is sign of money, assets, food, sensations. It's ruled by Venus. Okay, so this way we can tell that Taurus ascendant, it's all about earthly stuff, power. So that's why they have Virgo in a fifth house, so they can harvest all that through intelligence, because fifth house is very intelligent house, okay? It's most intelligent house because it's ninth from the nine. So ninth house is the higher mind, and highest mind from the nine is the fifth house, okay? So it's considering as the most Lakshmi house. That's where the good karmas you can collect. So they have a chance to collect really good karmas. Depends what kind of planet, where the ruler or the dispositor of Virgo will be, or even ascendant. But we're not gonna use other signs. Like I promised, I said I'm gonna use only Aries, Virgo, and Pisces. Aries is the starting point. Virgo is the harvesting point of all that energy that started, and ending point is Pisces, 11th house. So as we see, this person has a big goals at the end. That's what they expect, at least, because that's where the ending point is. So that means it's about extra income, big goals. So it's about big desires, okay? And that depends, of course, dispositor of that sign. Okay, that sign is ruled by Jupiter, which is ruler of the Pisces. So then we see, okay, now we can add Jupiter, for example, in this chart. Let's see, Jupiter is in a fifth house, or, okay, in fifth house for Virgo. In a Virgo sign, fifth house for Taurus ascendant. What does that mean? Ending, of course, is Pisces, so that means everything that they expecting at the end, they harvesting. Okay, they comes through their intelligence, through their creativity, because Jupiter is expansion, so they get lucky and it's very beneficial. So they harvest a lot through their children even, okay? And indicates that even children of this person, because fifth house first shows the first child at least, will be very hardworking, okay? Because the Virgo sits there. So they would be very workaholic personality as well. That's like in negative terms, but same time very intelligent, okay? Very detailed oriented, okay? So as the Jupiter sits there now, it gives more quality, because it means like it will harvest that beneficial things that whatever this person started and they expecting at the end, because Jupiter, dispositor of the 11th house, is sitting in fifth house. And of course, now if you want to go deeper, you have to check the Mercury, dispositor of the Virgo, okay? If it tells you the much deeper or farther information about if you will get and what kind beneficial harvesting you're gonna get through this Virgo sign in fifth house, okay? So let's say if somebody has Mercury in this case, first house, Mercury will be here. That means everything that they do, they're gonna do through themselves. They have to put their energy, personal, physical energy, through these to happen, okay? So because it's in a first house, that's their body, that's their health, so that's what it indicates, okay? Same time, Mercury rules Gemini, so that means you'll be connected with their family and their assets. They might even spend all on themselves, at the end, because Mercury demands dispositor of harvest in Virgo in 5th house from Jupiter. Everything goes there in a 1st house with Mercury. Okay, and then you can go deeper. What's the dispositor of the Taurus, which is Venus? Where is Venus sitting? That will indicate what or how and why they spend on themselves, or what they did with their assets or with their harvesting. So for example, if Venus would sit in Libra, of course, here, which is in 6th house, that means they would spend on difficulties or pain or fixing things. Maybe they have a lot of things that they have to fix in terms of plastic surgery, even, because Venus rules beauty and relationship. So Taurus on a 1st house indicates their face. So they could be spending all that wealth through on themselves, but on Venus tells us it spends on even marriage, and everything is under the Libra in 6th house will be on the difficult side. So they spend all that money or all that wealth to fix themselves or do something like that to improve their health or appearance in a good way, because Venus rules beauty. Okay, so I'm gonna end right now, and I'm gonna make a second video, but you guys let me know if you like these, or you getting it or not, or if it's easy or not easy for you to understand what I'm explaining here. And if you like personal reading or anything like that, like consultations with me, just email me. I will post my email address, and you can message me, okay, in Messenger on Facebook. And my name is Goram Kikelia, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.